Hi, and welcome to Tarot Time. Whether you're watching this live or as a video, welcome. What we're going to do for the next hour or so is talk about what's going on in the world. So we do a meditation card, we do a 3-card spread that may tap into things going on in your life personally, or maybe what's going on at the world of larger combination of the two. And then we have other divination tools that we work with. And basically, we are here to help navigate these massive changes that are happening in the world. So we'll get started in a couple of minutes. If you're watching this as a video, I always give the live people a moment to get their notifications. So firstly, how are you doing? How's everybody doing after the eclipse? If you're like me, perhaps you feel like your brain has just been put through a blender and turned into a smoothie. At least that's how I'm feeling this morning. But we'll get through this. I don't think Spirit needs my brain to give you guys information. So let me check in, see who's on, say hello. So hi Catherine and Millie again. Hi Judy. Um Oh, there's a lot of comments already. Hi, Anna. Hi, Yvonne. Hi, Chris. Hi, Roseanne. Hi, Lisa and Angela. And I think I got everybody. Hi, Nicole. I think I got everybody. So, how are we doing? Day after the eclipse, the big annular eclipse. Of course, there's a lunar eclipse coming in 2 weeks also. And it should be a very interesting winter. And as I've often been saying recently, that what the energy of this eclipse is doing is giving us a sneak preview into the year 2024, partly because the numerology of October is the same as 2024, which is an 8, and also with the Pluto being stationed and a few other things. It gives there's a very similar energetic resonance of what we're going to experience in 2024. So what's going on now and what's going on the rest of the month kind of gives us the flavor of what's going to be happening. But it's an awakening. The facades on a society that's unsustainable are falling down. Things are rising to the surface. Change is happening. Change is going to happen. Anyway, so Nicole's saying it's very emotional for me. Yeah, I had my bouts of emotion also. I feel lighter since your transmission. Yes, you guys can go check out the transmission. It's on the channel. It doesn't matter if it's not live. It's the same energy, and you bring that eclipse energy or vibe into the now. Basically, if you do that. And as they say, eclipse energies tend to last about 6 months. I've always found that a bit redundant personally. I mean, true, but redundant in so much as we have eclipse seasons every 6 to 7 months usually. So that's it. Hi, Suzette. Good morning. Good morning, Christina. And hi, MT. If I missed you, hi, Linda. If we missed you, also welcome. And hi, Jody, if I missed you also. So anyway, we're all here. And it's I've got my autumn clothes on today. It's a little bit chilly out there. So what else is going on? We're going to do live mediumship on Halloween night. That's Tuesday the 31st. So you can plan now. That's going to be at 8 p.m. rather than 7 p.m. just because a lot of you have children. They go trick or treating. So on Halloween evening, you can just kind of finish up the trick or treating, give them a big pile of candy to keep them happy for a while, then come in and get messages from the other side. So we're doing that. Also, I have a special guest coming on this coming Friday. That would be Winterbrook Ryan talking about trance mediumship. So really coming to that season where the veils are said to be thin. Scorpio season starts in a week, right? Today is what, the 14th? Yeah, about 8 or 9 days Scorpio season starts. So that's when to me the veils really get thin. So in other news, we have a membership group on Patreon, Spirit Mind Family. It just happens to be mediumship and channeling month. So we have a monthly theme, and we do additional activations and energy transmissions with the master teachers there, and lots of exclusive content. So as always, information will be posted on the pinned comment. So anyway, so what else? So that Bonnie, Horse Trigger Hope, hi Millie, love it. Thank you, Horse. Good morning, Bonnie. Congrats. Hi Millie. Hi Michael. Welcome. I'm just seeing if I miss anybody else. I mean, all right. So let's get started then. So I'll start out by doing a meditation card, and for the benefit of the new people, the way I recommend doing this is every week we do a meditation card that Spirit will choose through me, and that will be thank you for the reminder. Okay. I'm loving your comments, so so I'm just having a good time here. Scorpio, life hath ace. So Scorpio, so you have that Pluto and Saturn energy going on. And hi from Germany. Hi, blindly inspired. Our feng shui expert is in, so that's great. Thank you. So back to meditation card. Where was I? Take the glasses off for a second. Feel a little bit like Mr. Magoo sometimes with these glasses. Like, oh, I can't see. But anyways, back to meditation cards. So just clear your mind, and you can use my deck, which is the Morgan Greer deck, or if you have your own tarot card, you can find whatever card that we pulled for this week. And the idea is you get very relaxed, be very present, very open. Then in your mind, step into the card, like the image on the card is just a doorway to a whole new reality, so to speak. So you step in and just gauge how you feel. So you want to be very present, very open, heart very open. That way you're more tapping into your intuition, and we get a lot of emotion. Our emotional shifts can be very intuitive in nature. It can tap into the energy. So when we step into the card, just gauge how you're feeling, and then see what's going on. And you may get messages. You may connect with beings or guides or whatever. So anyway, that's how we meditate with the card. Just from seeing your comment, horses trigger hope about Mr. Magoo. Yeah. What was that the voice's name? Yeah, he's Thurston Howell, also on Gilligan's Island. I can't remember his name. Yeah, who did the voice of Mr. Magoo? Was that like Bacchus? Was that the last name? Okay. Sunday mornings are usually after I've had a long week of doing readings and live streams and so forth, so my brain is a little mushy. But anyways, 11:10. All right, so we're almost at 11:11 here on the East Coast. Now, interestingly, what was I going to say? It'll be interesting to see what comes up. Because in the October forecast, we picked up on what was going on in Israel and Palestine and the Gaza Strip and other things. It'll be interesting to see if there's any volatility in the markets this week, because that was part of the October forecast also, that was to begin around mid-October. And I'll be happy to be wrong about that. I have no ego when it comes to my prediction. I'll eat crow. It's not bad with salt. Done it before, but that said, so far the forecast has been pretty accurate for the month. So we'll see what happens this coming week or two. I mean, it's interesting because Spirit just showed me a gold coin in my mind. Maybe it's a reminder to invest in gold or precious metals. One thing that's resistant to things like recessions and depressions and all that good stuff. 11:11. So it is. Thank you for the reminders, everybody. Jim Backus. Thank you, Jody. And what was I going to say? Mine's mushy. I mean, I think a lot of it's that eclipse hangover. I mean, that was really strong energy. I mean, I don't know how you guys felt, but I was feeling things I just never felt before. It was like a whole like different. I mean, something similar because it's been an ascension process where our energies have been getting stronger because our bodies have been fine tuning in a way that we can transmit more energies through our vehicles. So that's been going on, but yesterday was over the top, and it was a whole different vibe for me. Maybe being a Libra, it hit me a little harder. I don't know. But then anyway, all right. So we're going to do our meditation card as promised. Hey, Mr. Floyd, massive breakthrough. Good. We like massive breakthroughs. I've been having kind of series of breakthroughs and kind of just sort of realizations of where I've been a little bit off in terms of my approach to my work and my life and stuff like that. And they're just kind of tweaking and fine tuning things, and basically all stuff that I talk about and teach you guys. So sometimes the teacher needs to be taught or reminded, practice what you preach. So anyway, clearing my mind. So because when we're thinking, we're not connecting. When we're connecting, we're not thinking. I'd rather connect now so that spirit can work through me to pull the right card for us. I'm narrowing it down. I got it. Interesting. Choose your battles wisely is the message that pops up in my mind when I see this card. So I think sometimes our meditation cards are part of the forecast also. So my feeling is that as you step into this energy and you start to get messages, I feel like this is going to help you to resolve internal conflicts. I want to say, like, we all have them to greater or lesser degree, and a lot of it is due to the programming that our spirits know is not right, but yet it's part of our subconscious, and our subconscious and our egoic minds always want the familiar because that's a survival instinct. So as you step in, maybe set the intention: where am I presently at odds with myself, or what am I clearing, or what conflicts outside of myself reflect the inner conflicts, and how do I solve that from within and also from without? So the other message I'm getting through this card is just again, choose your battles wisely, like I said before, and step away from like pettiness, basically, especially people that want to challenge your beliefs because they're too deeply programmed to step out of it. And if you challenge somebody's beliefs, even with the truth, it kind of registers in the ego as a threat to survival. And that's why sometimes people just argue vehemently and get almost borderline violent if you challenge their belief systems. And when that happens, the thing to do is to step back. That person's just not ready anymore. God bless them. Doesn't make them less than or less important or less valid or anything like that. It's just that they're at a different place in their growth and evolution. They'll figure it out also, basically. And push comes to shove, maybe you can learn a lesson from them also. Maybe you're not completely in the truth of the situation either. But the thing is, to avoid like those kind of confrontations, don't bring your energy down over it. But again, you may step into the card and get a whole different message and a whole different vibration. So anyway, so that's the meditation card. I want to, a lot of comments just popped in, so I want to just see what you guys are saying. Hi, Colleen. Congratulations, Roseanne. I don't know what we're congratulating Roseanne for, but new job. Reiki. Wow. Oh, I want to contact Hemlock. I used to go to New Age Health Spa to do juice fasts back in the day. It was a great place to fast. Yoga classes every day. I went for 6 days the second time. Hello, Hudson Valley Pretzels, Bavarian. Welcome, Brooke. All right, to people that are jumping on late, you've missed a lot already. So, when it's over, you can watch the replay. So let's do our 3-card spread. But congratulations, Roseanne. I love that land there up in Neversink. That's a beautiful part of that's a beautiful part of the Catskills. Like I said, years ago, when there was New Age Health Spa, they had a great staff. Oh my God, bringing back memories. I love that it there. I wonder if the hemlock still does juice fast. Maybe I'm overdue. This is a good time for cleansing and purging. I'm overdue for doing that. Cleansing and purging. Not just your body, but also your mind and your energy fields. So I talk a lot about natural health around here, about how we can stay healthy and how we can heal ourselves from things that the doctors don't know how to heal yet. The reason I talk about it is because I've done it. So I'm not going to talk about something that I haven't done, because then it's just theory. Um, I've done that, and what I found is it's really all based upon what you feed yourself. So, what, and that's even more powerful than pathogens. That's even more powerful than genetics. Of course, there's exceptions to that rule, but for most of us, we can even overcome some of the genetic tendencies, through what we feed ourselves. And number one is what we feed our minds. Number two is what we feed our bodies. So eat well and keep positive thoughts and positive energies, basically. Did you say goat therapy? I've never even heard of goat therapy. Wow. Okay. And Anna, thank you. Yes. And hi, Beth. Welcome. Welcome. Um, all right. All right. So let's do our three card. I'm gonna mix these up a little more and clear my mind again. You show me like baths. So I think part of the energy is taking like salt baths or energy baths, charging your water and all that good stuff. So we're still in the new moon energy. We're still in the solar eclipse energy. It's usually about 72 hours or so. So this is still a good time for cleansing, purging, emptying, but also it's new beginnings. So what do we want to create in our lives? So that with that thought in mind, I'm going to again clear my mind. Ask Spirit to guide me. This one here, here, and this one here. Thank you, Spirit, for guiding me to the right cards. And we will have the tarot reveal in just a second. All right, considering all that's been going on in the world and going on in the news and stuff like that, these are fairly calm energetically. I notice we have a lot of this letting go energy, these reverse cards, kind of letting the old cups go, kind of letting the old paradigm of holding on to things. Now, pentacles can represent money also. So I think through the tarot as well, that's sort of validating that there are at least some shifts in the financial structure. I mean, I know that's been ongoing and everything. So some investments may go down. Some more banks may close, more businesses closing. Again, all predicted. Not just by me, but by 1,000 different prognosticators, whether they be psychics or experts in the economy and the trends of the world. So nothing new there. I like the King of Cups though as an outcome, because Cups is often about happiness. It's often about offers. And I feel like they're saying when you stand in your truth during this time and you don't allow yourself to get swayed by the programming and other people, and you get out of that mindset of people pleasing or being a yes person or whatever, you're going to get rewards from the universe and things are going to just come to you. It's like that expression, the meek shall inherit the earth. So we'll bring in a little bit of biblical quote into this today also. Meek does not mean weak. So, we have to make that distinction also, because sometimes people get the wrong idea. To me, meek is humble. It's knowing that we are here to serve spirit, to serve for spirit to serve us, basically, and to really connect in a community and a circle of love, basically. And Roseanne saying, nice card. Yeah, this is a Morgan Greer deck. And these are a nice card. I'm not a big stickler on reverse meaning in tarot, though sometimes it can alter the meaning. It's really, and it's the way I believe that we should all read tarot. It's what we feel. It's a tool that's an ancient tool that helps to tap into our intuition and helps to bring in certain guidance from spirit into the now, basically. So when I teach tarot, and maybe I'll do a tarot course before too long, because I haven't done one for a while. I tell people, learn the meaning, get all the book meanings, get all the intellectual knowledge, and then forget it. So once it's a part of you, just forget it. And then spirit can use that knowledge to tap in at different times. So when you're doing the reading, it's really what you get at that moment, not necessarily what the card means. And that's kind of how I'm reading that. I like the fact that this is all cups here, and then we have pentacles. Those are said to be the feminine suits of the tarot, or the yin suits. So it's more about being receptive, being open, being intuitive, and being in tune with the flows of nature and the flows of society. Not to fear it, because you are always protected. Remember, the one that created us will always take care of us, and we chose to be here during this massive shift in humanity. Now, some people may be listening to this and be a little bit confused, because it's like, so does that mean that spirit's protecting, people in Palestine and Israel and in Ukraine and Russia, and people that are being displaced by natural disasters? Well, yes, but from a human perspective, we may not necessarily see that. So we have to understand that there's karma, there's a soul's choice involved, and we've chosen whatever it is that we're experiencing now. It's a choice that goes beyond our ego and beyond our intellect, and taps into our spiritual mission and our connection to soul and source. Yeah, maybe I need some water to be able to talk again, and so forth. So, the thing is, though, some people, for whatever reason, have to, in this very narrow point of time, have to go through a lot of crap and a lot of suffering. And it's unfortunate. So we can open our hearts and send their prayers that their path be easier. And that's kind of a nice thing to do from the comfort and the warmth of our own homes, or whatever. And some people may donate money or donate time or energy, or do energy clearings for the land and stuff like that. The earth is purging now from thousands of years of I don't want to say negative karma, but we'll say evolutionary karma of humanity, and a lot of unpleasant things were done to a lot of different people, a lot of wars, a lot of conflict, a lot of ancestral pain, a lot of cultural pain, so forth and so on. So, I'm thinking of the Israeli people, also the Palestinians. They've had to deal with a lot also. Here in the US, the Native Americans, in Australia, the Aboriginal. I mean, you can go all around the world and find that. But right now we're at this threshold where the frequencies keep changing, keep rising. It's measurable by a crude measurement called the Schumann resonance, which I learned about from meteorology back in the 1970s. And at the time, it was thought that it was something to do with thunderstorms emitting low what's the right word, low frequency energy into the atmosphere. But we're seeing that there's a lot more to it than that. But anyway, point being is that the frequencies keep rising. As the frequencies get stronger, it dislodges those things that have been stuck in these fields, whether it's our own bodies and our own consciousness, or the earth body and consciousness. As the frequencies keep increasing, it releases the stuck energy. And then part of the process is that it plays out on the world stage, and war is one of the ways it plays out, unfortunately. But it's a release. So the idea is let's make, let's, get through this. Let's put a lot of positive energy out there so less people have to suffer, and the suffering isn't to such a high degree. The more we can be conscious and flow with it, the less traumatic it has to be. And that's on a collective level also. And then understand that we chose to be here, and we're entering into this golden age of humanity. We're entering the threshold of a new awakening and coming to a new um, quantum level of consciousness in our collective human mind or collective human being. And anyways, so again, this is Pentacles can be money. It's upside down. I think one thing, and this just came through really strong. I was going to say something else. If we need to lose the fear of what's going to go on in the economy, because we can't control that. All we can control is what we feel about things and how we respond to things. And 95% of what we feel and what we respond has been programmed into us by society, by that same society that's tumbling down because it's unsustainable. So that, let that sink in for a second, that we're kind of perpetuating a program from an unsustainable society that's completely out of balance with nature, basically. But it's how our brains work. We can't help it, but we can help how we react and respond to it. And if we're able to step back and be the observers rather than the participants, then we start to gain greater insights into the programming. We gain greater insights into ourselves. We gain greater insights into spirit, and then we can start to create change. It starts from within, and then it expands to without, and then it helps to affect others to do the same thing. And that's how the mass awakening happens, one person, one soul at a time. So anyways, and King of Pentacles, what's the king? The kings are the rulers, right? Kings and queens are the monarchs. Cups are the feelings and the emotions. So that's kind of another way of saying, be the Lord, or be the Lord and the lady of your own emotional reactions, your own feelings, basically. And that's not to say you can control what you feel. You can't, it's programmed, it's energy, but you can control how you respond to it. And that's the key. That's what really, really matters. And I do believe that's the message that the cards are trying to give us. So yeah, that said, don't worry about money. Don't worry about the economy. You're going to be okay. I think, as I'm looking at this, I feel like they're saying it's not a bad idea to restock for the winter, not to let your guard down. I never had forecast any major, supply and food shortages, at least here in the more affluent Western world. Other places, it's a different story. But at the same time, my message was to prepare, prepare for the worst, hope for the best. And yes, there was some shortages, absolutely. Those that forecast that were definitely not wrong. But so far, so good. It hasn't reached that critical mass where some people were seeing things like people waiting in line, and to get food and water, FEMA shelters and camps and all that stuff. So far, so good. We're not done though. We still have 2024 and the first part of 2025 to get through, but so far we're doing a great job in mitigating some of what could happen or could have happened. And it's still going to be challenging, either way. So I feel like they're saying, no, it's time to think about, what you would need, for the winter. Say, have some cash on hand, have some supplies. Say the ATMs go out. All it would take it's a directed solar flare to wipe out the satellites, and then there's no more cell service for months if that happens, basically, and the electronics may go down. And we again, not to be fear-based, because we are spirit. We are divine, we are immortal. But at the same time, we have to understand the physical reality that we live in a very tenuous time, where we rely on satellites circling the world for our communication to drive our society. and it doesn't take much to take satellites out. And that's just one example. So we have to be aware, not afraid, but we do have to be aware, basically. So with that, I want to do a little comment share, and then we'll move on. This is interesting. I just woke up. Hi, Felicia. I had so many dreams. Right before I woke up, I was reading a page of a book, then I saw page after page whirling by and getting smaller in my mind. Your mind is a library. You read. There you go. Yes. Uh, and MDR saying people are waiting in lines, maybe just not here in the U.S. Exactly. That's the point that I made. I don't know if you were on a few minutes ago, but that's the exact point that we made. But thank you for that. Anna's saying that we've been purging for weeks. Feel so drained. I've been too. Yeah, physically as well as emotionally. And hi, Buffy, and good morning from Ontario. Very good. And a very apt comment from Mr. Fry. Fighting war is war itself. Yeah. What was this? I forgot what movie it was. But they had a very clever way of fighting a war through camouflage, basically, and not actually fighting, or what Bruce Lee, and what was the movie? I think it was Enter the Dragon, the art of fighting without fighting, and there's like a martial artist from New Zealand, like the art of fighting without fighting. Show me, and basically he tricked him, and so in any event, but very good, very good. So we have my Native American tarot somewhere. So let's pull another card. All right. To get back to MDR's comment for a second. I think even in this country that there have been incidents. Well, certainly after the natural disasters, there's lines and people waiting for food. So it really is going on all over. So again, just in case you'd have your supplies, enough food for a couple months, dry food, obviously. Good to have all that on hand. Yeah, we'd be like water. Yeah. Bruce Lee was one of the best. Yeah, I came into all this through martial arts training, and I was blessed to able to do seminars with Danny Dos Santo, who was Bruce Lee's top student, and actually bought the art of Eskrima or Arnis or Kali. That's the art that I studied, the Filipino arts. He actually bought that into Bruce Lee's Jeet Kune Do, so he actually taught Bruce Lee a few things, and what Bruce Lee did, he incorporated everything into his art, and his philosophy is absorb what is useful, basically. I love Bruce Lee, and he studied a lot of J. Krishnamurti also, who's an amazing Indian philosopher, from the late 1800s and early 1900s. Good, yes. What else? What else? I've seen my last. So sometimes we have to kind of rewrite the script, basically. The thing is, all possibilities always exist in this present moment, and there's not just one script. There's based on choices of ourselves and others, it changes the script. So we're writing as we go along. So make a new, happier script. And yes, grew up watching the movie. Anything you hold from darkness, absolutely. Yep. And right at the start of the pandemic, literally a sparrow was pecking loudly on my bedroom window for 3 mornings in a row. So that sparrow may have been your spirit guide, warn you, hey, heads up, get ready. I did not know or predict a pandemic was coming beforehand, but what did happen is that on New Year's Eve, 2019, Spirit told me to start a YouTube channel, which I had no experience and had very bad performance anxiety on camera. I had to reprogram my mind to just get up and do this. but spirits, after I told them that they were crazy, I took the challenge and I did a lot of subconscious reprogramming. But they said there'd be a need for it, and then once I caught wind of this, then I knew, like I think it was February. I knew what was coming basically, and I was able to predict. I was only 1 month off, by the way, of when the vaccine would be rolled out, how that would happen, the vaccine card, all that stuff. It was information that was available to us, and I was able to pick up on it. So yeah. Yeah, like I said, Bruce Lee was amazing. In those movies, he had to slow down his technique, otherwise the camera couldn't even pick up on it. You think he lived 30 years? He's a triple Sagittarius, also, just like Jimi Hendrix. I think Jimmy was either a double or triple Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is mastery. That it's that straight line, energy. So. You talk about a prodigy. Oh my God, he lived 30 years, and what he did in 30 years, and Jimi Hendrix, what he did in 27 years. He basically invented electricity in the music world, anyways, or reinvented it. Muddy Waters really invented it, but he reinvented it. Yeah, and he was taken too soon. There's definitely conspiracy theories around that also, which I think a lot of them are conspiracy facts. All right, so back to our regularly scheduled tarot time, and we'll see what this deck has to say. Bring me right to the top card. We got this last week, did we not? Or the week before, the Ace of Blades, which is the Ace of Swords, new beginnings. Swords and blades are ideas, they're truth. So a lot of us are getting new ideas. Think outside the box. That's just it. We can't be slaves to our routines anymore. And again, our routines, our habits and all that. There are programs. Programs not always a bad thing. That's how the brain works. So when you start to change a routine over time, it becomes a new habit. Then over time, that becomes a new program. So I think that's the idea, behind this is to change that, to change our ideas. And MDR is saying, Bruce Lee's ahead of his time, absolutely. And this is an interesting comment also. I'm already in the light, always have been unwell. Even Source can have its heart broken. It's a mistake to think that anyone's spiritual has to be rah, rah, rah light. We are a blend. Thank you for that. Yeah, I mean, where did the light come from? It came from the void. It came from the darkness. So ideas, thinking outside the box. Good example of getting back to the pandemic or plandemic, whatever your perspective on that is. I had my business at the time was very dependent on my events. About 60% of my income came from my events, and I had the best summer of my life planned. Then one canceled, then the next canceled, then the next canceled, and I did think outside the box, and I got on Zoom and I started teaching and doing trainings, and I was able to make back about half of what I lost from my events, enough money to continue to support my son's, and pay, my share of his tuition, as well as my rent and my expenses and food. So we may be called upon to think outside the box. Don't be bound by your routines. Every moment changes us. In the time that I've been talking, the last 40 minutes or so, about thousands, if not a million cells, like skin cells, have been shed, and my cells have divided and new cells have been born. Every moment changes us, and to be present, then you understand that the living now is just, how can I describe this? it's like the living now is the perpetual change, basically. So when you tap into the now, you're viewing the changes within you and around you from that perspective of being, in the center of it. I don't think my thoughts quite translated into my mouth. But anyway, so Aces New Beginnings. What ideas do you have? Maybe it's time to launch that. We're in the new moon cycle, new beginnings. What ideas? What do you want to do differently? What do you want to start? What do you want to plan? This is the time to do it, according to this. Yes. All right. So I have Kyle Gray next on deck with his Angels and Ancestors deck. Okay. That's interesting. This one had me do the bottom. The other one had me do the top card. Elder, move beyond ancestral patterns. Who's this speaking to? All of us to some degree, right? And what we were just talking about. So ancestral patterns, there's a lot of ancestral pain, like my father's, he's 100% German Jew. My mother has a different lineage. So of course, that would genetically, energetically maybe tie me into ancestral pain and wounding, but I can make a different choice and step out of that. And I've done that. I mean, granted, it takes a certain amount of spiritual discipline to reach that point where you're able to do that, but there's still a choice. So this is the message, that we were talking earlier. And I love when all the different tools like sync up like this. We're talking about how the earth herself holds a lot of this karmic pain and this ancestral pain, and it's now being released, and it's it's helping to precipitate a lot of the conflict, or renewed conflict, or however you want to call that. But I need water. That's the bottom. But I can learn to be present, learn to expand my heart as I heal. That helps to heal the ancestral wounds. So enough of us are healing and awakening that the earth mother, the living being, is responding to our energy and our frequency, and she's starting to release a lot of this pain stored up in the earth. Now I have colleagues, friends that go to sites and clear energy from land and stuff like that. And there's a lot of people out there that are working on the grids to really help this process along, that are going to the different places, or they're remote viewing and affecting the land that way. So there's a lot of energy geared towards releasing that pain. The thing is, we don't need it anymore. We've learned enough from it. It's time to release it and to move into our next lessons of growth, basically. Anyway, that's the message I get from that. Moving right along, our frequency of the week. Yeah, that's pretty heavy duty there, Mr. Floyd. Yeah. We've talked about this behind the scenes also, and the amazing insights and the progress that you're making now in your life. It's really amazing. I can't wait to see what it leads to for you. I'm sure you would agree with that. Oh, cool. I'm just catching some of your comments, but blindly inspired in Germany, and Berlin is also. Yeah, I guess you're thinking about a trip then, I guess. And that's an interesting comment. Wow. Yeah. So you get, maybe you got some of your spunk and attitude from that. I say that in a good way. Yeah, exactly. So this is responding to Mr. Floyd's comment about his grandfather. All right. Have you ever heard of saying? I've heard that. I mean, technically, I was inside, uh, but I've heard of that. It doesn't necessarily mean that I agree with it. I'm pretty much planning on April the 8th to be somewhere outside in Western New York to see the solar eclipse. Because I know the sky is going to be clear and we're going to get to see the total eclipse on April the 8th in Western New York. Here where I live, I don't know what it'd probably be about 80 to 90%, but I'm on 100%. All right, so here's the frequency of the week. This is the sacred geometry card, which, talking about working with the ley lines and the frequencies of the land. It's everything's all sacred geometry. Interesting crown chakra. So the idea here is you gaze in the center, just absorb the sacred geometry, and you may feel the effects in your body. Basically, you may feel the effects within you and around you. Let me read this and I'll bring this back to you in a second. The frequency of the crown chakra, the violet flower of life, supports our spiritual connection to the universe and our ability to transmute negative energy into the light. So again, it's along the same themes. So now that we were aware of the ancestral stuff, our personal karma, our personal stories, our personal pain, how that links in with our ancestors, how that links in with our culture. Now we can release that. We can open our crown chakras and allow an infusion of spirit or energy to assist us in releasing that back to the light or back to the void, depending on your perspective. And that's basically that. So, you can just take a moment just to kind of gaze in the center. You just sort of feel or get that sacred geometry going. I'm doing the same thing because I can see it on my screen now. Okay. All right. So I think we've got that. So we're moving on to the next. I have my totem animals, the medicine cards today. So it's going to more Native American energy. Um, yeah. I'm just looking at your comments. All right. Clearing my mind. So I'm seeing some kind of bird. I think a crow. Well, we got a horse. That's close to a crow, right? But in any event, horse medicine is about empowerment and freedom, basically. And you know the metaphor, getting back on your horse. Very powerful beings. Horses are amazing. Some of you know horses. Some of you have ridden horses or been around them. And a really good horse person can ride a horse and pretty much with their mind direct where the horse goes. Not even have to pull the reins so much. Once you get used to that. Now, according to the book Initiation by Elizabeth Hatch, I mentioned that in a comment on somebody's video recently. I forgot. Oh, it was Melanie Beckler. Ask Guided by Angels or Ask Angels is Melanie Beckler. She's such a lovely soul. If you haven't checked out that channel, Melanie Beckler. And for some reason, for whatever her video was, I mentioned the book Initiation by Elizabeth Hatch. And basically she's a yoga teacher. I believe from Germany also that lived through the Holocaust, but then she had a past life memory that was a parallel to the Holocaust. They went back to ancient Egypt before the pharaohs, and back then, according to her visions, they didn't have horses, they used lions, but they could, with their mind and will, they could direct where the lions go. They didn't need any reins or anything like that. They were just so linked in with that. Now it's interesting that lions represent will also, and in Chaldean numerology number 11, we always talk about 11 being a sacred number. It's a spiritual number. In Chaldean numerology, it's the lion's muzzle with clenched fist. And in the old tarot, key 11 was the strength card, the one that has the lion and the lion tamer. Now, in modern tarot, key 11 and key 8 got changed, so it's now key 8, but it was originally key 11. So the point being is horses also have a similar resonance, and the horse medicine is going to help us to overcome our problems. We get on our horse and we're able to have more freedom because we can go more places. The Native Americans, once the horses came from Mexico, that came from Spain, they were able to cover more land, and it gave them more freedom. But it's also about personal power and personal empowerment. So this is coming up because this is our time to empower ourselves. This is your card, Horses Trigger Hope. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Absolutely, yeah. And last but certainly not least, we have the messages from the angels. And I have Doreen Virtue's messages from the angels card with me. And I need new angel decks. Because all the ones that I have, the 3 that I have are all Doreen Virtue decks, and I want to get other ones. Maybe for Christmas. All right. Here we go. We found our card. Our card is Vanessa. To make your decisions, ask yourself, which way brings me closer to my divine purpose? Which way takes me away from it? So, what I'm seeing as I look at Vanessa is when we have important decisions to be made, for at least for a moment, step out of like the physical parameters of that, like stop overthinking, like if I do this is going to happen, if I do that, that's going to happen. But take a moment to step out of that, to open your heart and to ask spirit, is this make me feel better? And if you can really do this, and it takes practice, it takes discipline, one of the many reasons to develop a meditation practice. But if you can completely step out of your own judgments on the matter and so forth, in other words, step out of your own ego and get there, then when you're very present in that moment, you can just say to yourself, what about this is, say the words in your mind and just strictly gauge what you feel. Do you feel better or worse? Do you feel happy? Do you feel anxious? And clear that, get back into your presence, and then think about the other decision, the alternative, and check in with how you feel. Your higher self will never lie. I do something called body dowsing, which is, something a lot of psychics do. And if I can get out of my own way, then my body responds. I ask a question, I'll either go forward or backwards, and my forwards are yes, my backwards are no. But I have to be very clear for that to work, because our subconscious mind is tricky and can fool us. So it takes a little bit of discipline. You can also do this with other pendulum. You can do this with kinesiology. I can't even pronounce the word. Muscle testing. You can do that with muscle testing also, because the subconscious knows, our spirit knows the answer already. Divine feminine, definitely a very divine feminine. This is like the maid and the warrior of the divine feminine. Yeah, absolutely. Good observation, Anna. And this is interesting that they use dogs. Yeah, horses enable them to go farther though, and to have more freedom. But yeah, you can use dogs and crude, sleds, I suppose, or wheels, because a lot of the Native Americans didn't have snow, certainly not all year long. Thank you for that. Kinesiology. Thank you, Mikhail, for that. Thank you. This is a good statement. And why is that? Because people are separated from the universe. That's why people don't keep their promises. And certainly, laughter is always the best medicine. Watch. Oh, silent movies are hysterical. Yeah, definitely. Laughter raises your vibration. Laughter is the best medicine. Alrighty then. I think we're good. So again, if you like what we do on the Medium channel, you want to dive deeper, check out Spirit Mind Family on Patreon. We do uncensored stuff. We have community hangouts on Zoom. I started to do that. Yeah, maybe in my day off, I'll actually dive into Facebook and create a Facebook group for those of you that are already in on Spirit Mind Family, which are a lot of you that are on this live stream. And then we do extra frequency channeling. I'll post the eclipse forecast that I did a couple of days ago on what to expect these next few weeks. I'll also post the transmission we did last night. It's still very active. You can do that anytime and get a little bit of an energetic transmission to help you to transition into these higher energies. And very good. Their silent movies are hilarious. Yes, they are. Yeah. Nice. Okay. Very good. Very good. All right. Thank you for all of your input, everybody. Great comments today, as always. Appreciate you all. Love you all. This Friday, I think that's my next scheduled live stream, unless I get on sooner. We will have Winterbrook Ryan talking about trance mediumship or channeling. So I did a class with her at Lilydale. I mean, I've known Winter for decades. Fabulous medium on Long Island, and I learned a lot of and I don't know if any of you guys noticed after August that my channeling's gotten better. I mean, I'm still kind of a student, even though I'm doing this for the public. I'm still learning the art of channeling, but I feel like it's gotten better, and I've reached a point where even whether I'm doing light language or it's coming through in English, like I'll feel the pressure in the back of my throat, and if I just let that pressure out, it comes out in words. So I'm getting better at that. But my forte is the energy work, is the frequency channeling, and I know a lot of you guys feel that. So anyway, that's going on. And Halloween night, that's when we do free mediumship here on the channel. So we're going to do that at 8 p.m. on the 31st. So, you may get messages from your loved ones on the other side. All right. Again, thank you, everybody. Thank you so very much. Oh, Winter. Very good. She is a very kind soul. Yes. Yes. You're welcome, Elizabeth, and everybody else. Thank you very much. Yes. Have a magical, mystical, beautiful week ahead. Love you all. Thanks for being here. And as a community of the heart and blending with other communities of the heart, we're making a difference, and we're going to continue to make a difference, and we're going to see this awakening through as gracefully as possible, given what's going on out there with the collective and the programming. It's still an uphill battle, but thanks for being here and being part of the, I don't even want to say battle, it's a process. It's a dance. It's not a battle. So thank you again for being here, everybody. And I love you. And have a great weekend, great week.